Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is London, for those of you that don't know, and for those of you that do know, love you. Anyway, I'm going to be making a little bit of a different style video today. I feel like over the past few weeks, a common thing that I have been talking to my friends about, and something that I've heard other people talking about pretty consistently, is the topic of mental health and anxiety. Honestly, when I went to go film this video, I was like, oh, I should sit down and make it dramatic and play this sad music. And then I thought, no, because here's the thing, do I struggle with anxiety to this day? I do. But do I let it defeat who I am and completely have control over everything in my life? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that you can just flip a switch and go from depressed to happy. And I'm not saying that you can go from being extremely anxious to just being fine overnight. What I'm saying is the way that we perceive what's going on changes everything. I feel like I've never really been the type of person to be so public about something that I have personally dealt with. But I feel like a lot in my own personal life, I have grown so much by other people telling their stories and by other people encouraging me by what they've gone through and seeing how they've come out of certain situations. There can be so much backlash for ever saying that you struggle with anything, especially something like anxiety, mental health, depression, things like that. Something really important that I've learned is nobody gains anything by you staying silent. So that's why I'm here today. I wanted to just kind of come on here, share my story with you guys, and hopefully it helps somebody out there. Growing up a Christian person, I feel like it's a very common misconception that I'm perfect, or I think I'm perfect and I have everything together all of the time. What would people say if they knew I wasn't always okay? When I was 18 years old, I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease. For those of you who don't know what that is, it is an autoimmune disease. There's no cure for it, and honestly, it's not fun. You know, I went through seasons where I was in the hospital for months sporadically at a time. There were moments when I genuinely thought I was never going to be able to live without pain. There were times where doctors even had little faith that I would live. I don't say all of that to be dramatic, and I don't say all of that to get people to feel bad for me. I say all of this because that experience is what led me into having severe anxiety. When I was in the hospital, I was anxious that I was gonna die, and when I would finally get out of the hospital, I was anxious that I didn't have a doctor by my side if I needed them. I feel like going through the back and the forth like that for so many months, I mean, it messes with you, to be honest. My whole life, a lot of people in my family have dealt with depression, anxiety, mental health, but I never really fully understood exactly what those people were going through. I hear people say, I'm so anxious, I'm so depressed, you know, I don't know how to feel. And when you're on the side where you don't really understand, it's like you sympathize, but you don't really understand what it is that that person is really going through. And then when you're on the spectrum of, I'm anxious, I'm depressed, I'm going through things, you feel as though you can't talk to anybody about it because they don't understand what it is that you're going through. I remember getting to this point in my life where I was so overcome by anxiety that it was hard for me to even get out of bed in the morning. I think for me personally, when I first began to struggle with this, it was more of a pride thing and more of an embarrassment thing. How am I supposed to tell people that I'm not okay? I think the thing that was weird for me struggling with this in the beginning was that I didn't know how to explain exactly what it was that I was going through. So easy to feel like you're just being dramatic or that your feelings aren't justified. I think it's so easy to get so in your head and just to feel like nobody cares and that nobody understands and that I'm not allowed to feel the way that I feel. I think I felt like that sometimes because sometimes there would be a trigger to my anxiety. Like something would happen and then I would have an anxiety attack. Sometimes it would be literally just out of nowhere. When there's something mentally happening, it can be exhausting. For people who don't understand that, it's very hard to explain yourselves to them. Which leads me into my next point. So much of what I was dealing with and going through, I always felt like I had the need to explain myself to people. I always felt like I had to justify why I felt the way that I felt. And I guess that's why I'm making this video. If you are somebody out there that is struggling with mental health, whether that be anxiety, depression, XYZ, you are allowed to feel the way that you feel. Nobody is allowed to tell you the way that you feel is wrong, because you feel the way you feel because it's how you feel. If you're struggling and you're going through something and the people in your life are telling you that you're not validated in the way that you feel, find new people. I would not be where I am right now if I did not have a good support system of my friends and my family. The people that tell you, hey, if standing up is all you've got in you today, count that as a win. Don't sit in shame and guilt because you feel like the way you feel isn't validated. Admitting that something is wrong doesn't make you powerless. If anything, the ability to stand up and say something makes you powerful. And like I said before, nobody gains anything by you keeping your silence. Never downplay the size of your voice. Never downplay the power that your words hold. When you're in the middle of being anxious or being depressed, obviously the easiest choice is to sit there and dwell in it. The harder choice is to take a stand and stand up and say, you know what, no, I might have something, but it doesn't control my life. If you are somebody out there that deals with any of these issues, there are people out there that will love you through it and will see you through it. And there also are people that will gain courage and strength by hearing what you've gone through. I think it's so easy to get into this mindset that the things that make us feel weak make us powerless. If anything, if you've gone through something and you've gone through dark times, I feel like that makes you more powerful. It gives you a story to tell. You not having it together all of the time isn't letting anybody down. Anybody ever tells you that they have it together all the time, they're lying. Because newsflash, nobody does. I feel like if there's even one person out there that understands that not having it together all the time doesn't define the strength that you have, then this video is for you. I am somebody that has struggled with my health, with my mental health, and I can stand here before you saying, I'm not perfect. Even though I've gone through things that have made me stronger, I still don't have it all together. There's power in admitting that sometimes you need help, sometimes you need people, sometimes you need people to remind you who you are. I'm well aware of the fact that there are people out there who don't have somebody telling them that they're enough. That they don't have somebody telling them, hey, if all you can do is stand up today, count that as a win. There are people out there that think because they aren't perfect, that they're not worthy of love, of people, of acceptance. And we need to squash that. If you have something nice or uplifting to say to somebody, say it. You never know what it could be that could change somebody's life. It is not okay or acceptable for anybody out there to feel like they are not enough because they aren't perfect. Please understand that if you're going through a rough season, if you're going through a rough time, it is just temporary. New seasons will come along, new good things will come along, and sometimes bad things will also come along. Rest assured knowing that there will always be good coming your way if you look for it. Nobody has the power to take away your voice except for you, and nobody has the power to take your story away from you. I don't feel like I've necessarily been through the hardest things in life. I feel like there are definitely people out there who have gone through worse than I have, but I've still learned and grown from what I have been through. I will say the times where I have felt the most confident and the most powerful is when I've admitted that I'm not the most confident and I'm not the most powerful. You don't have to have it all together to speak life into somebody else, to be an encouragement in somebody else's life. Be confident in who you are, be strong in who you are, be honest about who you are, and I promise good things are coming. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!